In this fast-paced world, wouldn't you agree that it'd be most beneficial to be able to learn stuff quickly? Well, today we're talking about just that. What's going on, guys? It's Marcus here with Discover Ignite, and today we are talking about how to learn anything quickly. Now, we're gonna actually talk about the Feynman Technique today. We're gonna go over the 4 different steps that includes, and then we're actually gonna implement this, right, and see how you can implement this today so you can start learning stuff quickly. So let's get started. So what is the Feynman Technique? It's actually a technique that is supposed to help you learn anything quickly and remember something quickly. Now, this was actually developed by Richard Feynman, a Nobel Peace Prize winning physicist. And he was known for simplifying things, right? Making stuff simple to learn and quick to learn. This is where this technique comes to play. So let's dive into the different steps and analyze how you can start using the Feynman Technique today. So the first step is actually quite simple, because what you're going to do is write down at the top of a page what it is you're actually trying to learn quickly. Like for myself, a good example being in software development, what I would do is I was trying to learn about a specific technology that I had to learn quickly. I would write that technology down on top and say, for example, I would write down Amazon Web Services. So I wanted to learn about that particular piece of technology, so I would write that at the top of my page, and that would complete step 1. So here in step 2, what you're going to actually do is take the topic from step 1 and actually highlight all the things that you know about that particular topic. So for example, I chose Amazon Web Services as my first topic, right? So in step 2, I'm going to write down all the subcategories that I am aware of and that I know of that particular topic that I can actually explain, right? And then you're also going to not only highlight the things that you do know, but in this step you're going to want to write down the things that you may have missed in that particular topic and that you need to actually get a better understanding of. So you want to write those other subtopics in a separate category of things that you're not proficient in and that you want to go deeper in. So here on step 3, what you're going to actually do is take all those subcategories that you were not proficient at, and you actually want to research these well, right? You want to get a good understanding of these. You want to go deep in these particular subtopics that you didn't know much about, right? And you also want to touch on those other topics that you highlighted just to make sure that you are still proficient at those subtopics. And then this, will give you a more greater understanding of that particular topic, so you're not you can fill in the gaps. Essentially is what you want to do, is fill in any gaps that you may be missing and make sure you're just proficient in the topic, all around. So here on step 4, we got a broad understanding and a deep understanding of our topic, right? We know the things that we know, and we've actually built up the things that we don't know. And at this point, what we want to actually do is, now that we have a good understanding of the topic, we want to actually try to simplify it, right? We actually want to try to take all those highlights from the stuff that we know and all the highlights from the stuff that we didn't know that we should know at this point, and just try to have those in all subcategories, right? And try to simplify it as much as possible, right? You want to try to get out all the gray area. You want to try to keep it as black and white as possible. That way it's easier for you to remember and to recall, because this is how our mind works. Our mind works on, just trying to get the basic images, the basic, highlights, keywords, if you will, to be able to recall that information. So we want to try to simplify all these subcategories under that topic as much as possible, so that way we can recall it and then be able to try to further explain it once you remember that key word, right? So now that we picked our topic and broke it down into all the different subcategories and did the research on those subcategories and then simplified it, now we need to apply it. And the first step to start applying this is to find a creative outlet, or start actually doing it, right? Start doing whatever it is. Like for example, for myself, say I wanted to do Amazon Web Services, right? Let's go back to my first step, my first topic. So I would start trying to mess with that technology. I would start trying to actually build things with that particular technology, right? And trying to be creative. I know all the different subcategories, so if I feel like I'm missing a particular piece to that technology, I know that there's other pieces out there that I may have actually overlooked beforehand because I didn't do that research, right? So now that I have the research in the back of my mind, I start applying what I've learned by being creative. So whatever that topic is, you need to actually find some kind of creative outlet to start applying it. And then this is really where you're going to get your knowledge, right? Is when you actually start applying what you're learning. So find that creative outlet. So this next step is something to actually keep in mind when you are in the creative process, right? When you're actually doing this, right? When you're actually implementing, the knowledge that you have learned, you want to try to ask yourself why. Why are you doing specific things a certain way, right? You want to try to keep that in the back of your mind because you want to actually be able to use this for a later step. And you want to be making sure that you fully understand why are you taking the steps that you are taking, right? The creative process allows you to explore where you also want to know why you're doing it that specific way, right? So explore, but once you actually come up with a solution, you need to go back and see why it is working that particular way. And this is, the second step in implementing this and allowing yourself to teach yourself this new idea, right? This new topic that you are trying to learn. So for the third step of implementation, we've started with that creative side. We started actually implementing what we've learned, and then we've actually started asking ourselves why, right? We come up with a solution, then we ask, why does that solution work? So we get a better understanding. And then in the third step of implementation, what we actually want to be doing is recalling that, right? You want to recall that. And after every new step, you want to go back and go back to that solution, right? So say you've learned one particular solution, you know why it's working, and you start on another solution for another subtopic, right? For that category that you're implementing, you actually want to go back to the previous solution just to be, reassuring what you've learned, right? Reassuring that solution, re-understanding why it worked. You just want to be recalling the information, right? So you want to be going back every time you learn something new. If you have a new solution, the new why, then you go back to the previous solution, the why, and then you go to the new one, and you just keep going back and recalling. So this way you just keep allowing yourself to keep that information fresh in your head, because the more repetitive you are with the information and the solutions and the why, the easier it is to recall this information. So the fourth step of implementation is to actually be able to teach it. Now we've taken that topic, we've broken down all the subcategories, the ones we knew, the ones we didn't know. We researched more on the ones we didn't know. We simplified it. Then we started to apply it, right? We applied through creativity. We started executing all the things that we learned, and then we also came up with solutions during that step, right? And then from that point we understood why those solutions were working, and then we recalled those solutions, right? We would learn a new solution in the why, and then we go back to previous solutions in the why. And now at this particular step, we want to actually be able to teach it. Now, the easiest way to actually teach something is if you're with a coworker or a friend or family member, whoever it is, whoever may want to know that knowledge that you now have, right, that you have now attained, you need to share it with them. Give a good explanation, simplify it to make sure they understand, right? If you can simply explain it to them and then ask them for feedback to make sure that they are understanding what kind of message you're trying to relay on the subject that you have learned. And if you can't find anybody, a good resource also as well is to possibly even create a blog and share that information, or create a video like this and share that information, right? And just come out with all the information that you've gathered, simplify your message, and allow people to try to get a better understanding, right? And the good thing is if you can actually have someone physically there, or even if you do write a blog, it's just to try to get feedback, right? To try to see, make sure you're getting a full grasp of what you've actually learned. And then this will just instill even more what you've learned, and it will help you memorize all this information that you are trying to learn quickly. It does take a little bit of time, but it is a quick and efficient way to actually be able to learn anything quick and actually remember it. So I hope this process actually helps you guys. If it did, please smash that like button. Also, if there's any other, techniques or anything that you find actually helps you learn anything quickly, please leave that in the comments below. And until next time, I will see you guys later.